this awesome information. Guys, lady, please, if you're in a busy place, please turn off your cameras. We don't want any distractions. Please also, if you're moving about, so you can turn your cameras off as well, because we want to make sure that everyone's focused on what they're getting ready to hear. Please put yourself in a quiet place, but lean in, because what you're about to hear could absolutely transform everything. This is the one, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. It is my pleasure and honor to introduce a gentleman to you who has literally built teams of hundreds of thousands of people, ladies and gentlemen. He is rocking this thing. He knows all the information and the facts about what we're about to share with you. Guys, he is a ton of fun to be around. But what I really respect most about him is his heart. He is unbelievable at helping everyone on his team to win. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce to some and present to others my friend and my mentor, Mr. Kevin Lattimore. Take it away, sir.
All right. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me all right? How's my microphone before we get started?
Sounding great.
Okay, excellent. Thank you for all that and for everything you do. Once again, Marshonda, you're leading by example, building a tremendous business, and your team is very excited with your leadership. And I can't believe all the rentals you got going through. Now, meanwhile, everyone else is like, what are rentals? What are rentals? You guys are about to find out. We have an absolutely dynamic presentation for you guys right here, right now. We are a young team. This is a young company, but make no mistakes about it. This is serious business. So let me just fire up the PowerPoint here really quickly. Yeah, I got a PowerPoint. Y'all know that I just usually like to just take it off the top and let you guys know how everything's going, but we're gonna have a little bit of structure today. Can't go wrong with that. And let me share screen. Okay, so welcome everybody. This is Kevin Lattimore calling to you tonight from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Been all over the world and back in the past couple of weeks, and I'm super excited about this business and everything that it entails. 6 weeks ago, I was just minding my own business, semi-retired from a very exciting and dynamic career in network marketing, but was just kind of taking things a little bit easy. You see, I got started in network marketing, I'd say about 18 years ago as a manager in Costco, decent job, but at the end of the month, there was just not enough money for all the bills that we had with a family of 7. So I decided to do something a little bit different, started doing a little bit of network marketing part-time, and thank goodness, within 6 months, I was able to match my Costco income. Then I did something that was completely crazy, completely insane, upset my wife, upset my family, upset my coworkers as I was moving up the charts quickly at Costco for some major promotions. And I just said, you know what, I want to go somewhere where I can be paid what I'm worth, not by how many hours I put in. And within 6 months, I matched my Costco income, like I said, and I walked away and I've never had to look back. It's been well over $1 billion in sales, well over 500,000 people on my collective teams, 65 countries documented to have a physical presence in, traveled all around the world many, many times, and most importantly, helped thousands and thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of people make at least $1,000 to $100,000 a month. And that is what it's all about, helping other people achieve whatever it is that they desire to call freedom. So I would say 6 weeks ago, I was minding my business, as I said, kind of retired, had a very, very strong passive residual income coming in and didn't frankly need to work and was just doing some passion projects.
Yeah. And then she had started driving again because she wasn't able to drive.
And then someone introduced me to this business. I put a little bit of money in. By a little bit, I mean, I don't know, 5 to 10,000, just to take advantage of the passive rewards. I didn't want to build anything. And very quickly, as I started watching it for my first week, got excited by what I was seeing. Like, I'm not doing anything and I'm making some good money. This is interesting. So I showed it to 3 or 4 other friends. They found it even more interesting than I did. And the rest of it, they really say, is history. Introduced 18 people in my first 2 weeks. The team is now over 800 people. And most importantly, not only do we have about 250 people that have received somewhat significant checks already, every single customer that has nodes, we're going to talk about nodes in a second, has also been making some money passively. So everybody's relatively excited. So without any further ado, let's get into the action here, show you a little bit of what's going on. The company we're going to be talking about is actually called IX Global. We have partnered with another company called The Debt Box. DEBT, D-E-B-T, stands for Decentralized Eco-Friendly Blockchain Technology. I know it's a mouthful, but it makes a lot of sense. It's just not a cheesy acronym. And what we like to say, our little catchphrase is, where crypto meets commodities. And I believe it's absolutely imperative that this has happened. And you guys couldn't be getting introduced at a better time because there's a little bit of a crypto crash going on over the last week. Bitcoin and almost every other single coin, most of which were considered to be in a bear market, so they were down from where they normally are or should be, they actually dropped another 25 plus percent just in the past couple days. Something that, knock on wood, that we were able to avoid so far, and I believe it's because of the commodities. We're one of the few companies that I've ever seen that's actually backed by something. So we'll circle back to that premise here in a second. Here are the principles involved in this business. And unlike many crypto projects where it's just these random people that you never heard about, they rarely use their names. I was introduced to one thing, and the CEO was named Mr. G. Your first name is Mr.? That's interesting. Your last name's one letter? This sounds like someone who's trying to be very evasive. The funny part is that's not the only time I've been introduced to a company headed by Mr. Letter, right? So I love the fact that not only do these people have faces, not only are they, decent people and stuff, but I happen to know Joe Martinez, the CEO who you see right there in the middle, personally for 15 years, and everything has been great about Joe. We've never worked together, but it's a small world at the top, and I've always admired him from afar. Paul Barlow, the president, is also a friend independently of my relationship with Joe, who I've also known for roughly 15 years, and he's been an amazing individual. Typically, he's on the corporate side. A few times he's built some things, which is good to have that background on both sides of the fence. So all that to say, these aren't strangers to me. Most people know that I primarily built my business, my reputation on my understanding of comp plans, my massive action, and most importantly, my discernment and my ability to pick a lot of companies before they hit $1 billion. As a matter of fact, I've been part of 3 companies that rose to $1 billion and got in, right at the perfect time. Maybe not so early when it was hard and difficult and they didn't have their stuff together, but early enough that I was able to ride that wave of momentum, and not so early that, it was just like I was just jumping on the bandwagon of something that was going with or without. So without any further ado, let's take it down here. I do want to be sharing a disclaimer with you guys because I believe it's important, I believe it's prudent, and I believe it's necessary. So you can read most of this right here, but it says, none of this information is intended to be investment, tax advice, legal advice, or an offering of any solicitation or offer to buy, sell anything as an endorsement of any company, security fund, or other offering. That's quite the mouthful. None of this information be relied on as for the purpose of transacting securities or other investments. I want to make sure that is completely clear as well. And you can see the rest of it. I'm not going to go through this all and bore you. You can take a quick screenshot of that if you like. And namely, one other thing that I don't think is on here, but I'd be remiss if I didn't share, past performance is not a guarantee of future results, right? I'm going to show you some staggering numbers, some crazy growth. It is on a great trajectory. I do hope, plan, and feel, because I'm even putting my own money up and I've even doubled and tripled down since my initial investment. But I just want to be prudent once again and say, past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Now, we're going to talk about something called nodes. And by the way, let me say this right off the top. If anything seems like it's too new age, too technical, and basically too overwhelming for you, don't be alarmed, don't be concerned, don't get frustrated. Most of this stuff is going to happen whether or not you understand it or not. Obviously, you have to understand the business on a principle level and see if it makes sense with you and for you. But the nitty gritty of it isn't that important. I don't know how the microwave makes my food hot. I just press the buttons and things are great, right? So let's continue. The first thing I'm going to talk about here is a node. And it's like looking at it, what is a node? And it says on blockchain, so cryptocurrencies and blockchains require nodes to operate. A node is a piece of software that connects to other nodes in the blockchain to create a network. Nodes are where the data is stored, received, and transmitted, and they are crucial to network security and integrity. Let me give this to you in another way. Where is the head office of Bitcoin? What country is it located in? Who's running it? Nobody, right? What it is a series of nodes. It's a network. Tens of thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of people have their own computers. Some have huge server farms. A server farm is like you rent some warehouse space or sometimes even a big barn, something probably a little fancier than a barn, but I've seen it done in Iceland in some places, and you have thousands of computers running simultaneously. As a matter of fact, it gets so hot, the majority of your bill is electricity from trying to cool down everything from overheating because they run 24/7. But these computers that any individual can participate with, all of you guys could run a node, is you plug in and you run some software on your computer and it just goes and does its own thing, right? So Bitcoin is a network. That's really cool too. It makes it unhackable because you can't hack 100,000, 100 million computers simultaneously everywhere. And that's also how come we have trust in it, because as you do a transaction, all those other computers nearly simultaneously verify that transaction, so you can't delete it. If you deleted it on my computer, what about the other 99 million that also saw that you sent Steve $100? So therefore, everything is written on what we call a public ledger for the viewing, right? Again, that was meant to help, probably still went over your head, but just understand the bits and pieces and the nuance of it, and you'll start to gravitate towards what it is. And throughout the rest of this conversation, I think you'll pick up on some of it. So let's look at the debt ecosystem. By the way, debt, that stands for the decentralized, eco-friendly blockchain technology. And there are blockchain and cryptocurrencies, and we know they can be complex and overwhelming, as I just shared, to many individuals. But for years, we've all been hearing about the blockchain, and many of us want to know how to get involved. But simply, you don't know how until now. So debt is taking the get work out of it. There's no fake meme coins here, and I'll touch on that in one quick second. It's real projects tied to real assets brought to you in the comfort of your own home. So what's a meme coin? It's like those coins that are just a picture. I've never bought and never will buy Dogecoin, right? A lot of people have, and for various reasons. I'm going to say those are pretty much unsophisticated investors, and that's probably not entirely fair. Maybe as an overall arching sentiment, perhaps, but you know, Elon Musk went on Saturday Night Live once, and they did a skit about Dogecoin, and based on that skit, Dogecoin lost half of its money. That doesn't make any sense. Saturday Night Live doing jokes, should it make something go down? Should it make people lose millions of dollars? Should it make an asset lose hundreds of billions, actually billions of dollars at the time? You know, so it just was never real to begin with. Even if you Google Dogecoin, the owners of it did it as a joke. You guys may or may not know, most of you know, it's a picture of a dog, a Shiba Inu dog. It's the guy's dog. He made his dog and he made a coin for his dog. Yay! For some reason, some people bought it and some more people bought it and some more people bought it. And then they just figured it was so cheap. It was like 0.000000001 of a cent. And they're like, if it just goes to a penny, it just goes to $1, I'm going to be rich because I got 10 billion of these things. The problem with that, by the way, just, and I'm going to go on a tangent that's unnecessary, but since we're here, is if you look at something called tokenomics, it's the economics of that token. Dogecoin is set to infinite, and I don't know the word, to create an infinite amount, right? I was going to say infinitively. I would look real crazy on here. It's set to make an infinite amount of Dogecoin, unlimited supply, gazillions. That's the number, right? Gazillions of Dogecoin. So how could it ever really have any value? The fact that it got as far as it did is amazing. But our stuff is asset backed. That's what caught my attention. That's why I said, wait a second, this sounds different than everybody else that's calling. And you're going to see what those things are in a second here. And it's going to make all the difference in the world. So this is a quick little glance at how it works right here. Utilizing our explosive proprietary software, you can turn your computer or laptop into a portfolio of blockchain miners, right? You're like, me, a miner? How the heck do I do that? Again, we're giving you the software instantly. It'll just run on your behalf, and it's going to be really, really cool. But by purchasing and managing different software node licenses, you can earn rewards from several assets from the comfort and convenience of your home. You know what I want to do right now is anybody that has a license, can you type in the chat if it is hard or easy for you to do your daily mining? I feel like I just scared some of the people when I said they got to do all this stuff. It's actually completely autonomous. So I just want to make sure that other people back me up and it's just not me saying that to you. It's completely autonomous, very simple. Name, email, password, boom, 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 and it's up and running. Everything has been simplified for you. Incredibly lucrative, incredibly ingenious and complex. But as far as your participation goes, incredibly simple. So you see the steps right here. Step 1, purchase a mining license and get it activated, and then earn rewards daily through the mining process. You can watch them roll in on the reward section, and everybody watches them roll in, and that gets really exciting real fast. And then they either buy more or they just enjoy their life and just can't believe their good fortune that they were actually introduced to this company. Step 3, withdraw your rewards and redeem their value for other tokens, additional licenses, or whatever else you want. You can transfer it back into cash and make back what you originally spent on your purchases, or whatever you want to do, completely up to you. Now, here's our first token that I wanted to touch on. Right now, it's about 1045, a little tiny bit down, but we've created, right, a $10.45 token. Look at this. This is the 24-hour supply right here. In the last 24 hours, $3.5 million has been transacted in this token, which is amazing. And what's the purpose of that? Well, first and foremost, many of us, myself especially included, are into token accumulation. You see, when you purchase these licenses, right, for the different projects, and we'll get into that in a second, when you purchase these licenses, you're going to start getting the tokens. Like I have black gold. That's our oil license, right? I got an oil license, and that gives me tokens for black gold every single couple minutes. And when I want to cash out, I turn those tokens in my back office by pressing withdraw. They transfer into DebtBox tokens, right? So for every, say I had $30 worth of black gold tokens, they'll give me 3 point something dollars worth of DebtBox tokens. And then I click a button and I change those DebtBox tokens for USDT, which are backed on US dollars. A dollar is a dollar for those tokens. And right there, I'd have 30 bucks and I'd be on my way. So it was really cool to know that we have that and to show you how it all works on that end. We are listed on a few exchanges right now: BitTrue, Exmo, LBank, PancakeSwap is a decentralized exchange where we do a lot of business, where people can just in their own wallets flip it back and forth and turn it into cash. So that's really cool. And soon to be, stand by for an announcement in early 2023. Hopefully within 60 days or so, we're gonna have a big Binance announcement. And by the way, when things go on Binance, prices start to skyrocket. So don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but that's gonna be a glorious day when that happens. Here are some of the projects that we already launched. Black gold that I talk about, you can see the little icon, that's oil. Natural gas, NATG, is natural gas, of course. Grow is our high yielding agriculture and hemp products that we help create. That's that. Here's some of our future projects. This one here is of particular interest. It's called BLOX, and that's going to be real estate. We have digital link gold, aluminum, XPLR, which is our satellite technology. Aluminum right now, we have 30 people that have just been flown into Ghana, Africa. And they're working on something. So let me explain to you what this all means right now. Sometimes people have a little bit more information, but some of you might be coming into this call cold. You see on the far right, the pink one is a satellite. So let me explain what DebtBox actually is doing for those that are completely in the dark. We have a partnership, use the word partnership a little bit loosely, where we rent space on Google Earth satellite, right? Google Earth that does all your GPS and takes all the pictures for all the maps and stuff, has satellites in space. We run a proprietary software on their satellite system. And what we do is basically we get geo coordinates, right? A certain area, longitude, latitude, so on and so forth. And we run basically what our software does. It does basically like an ultrasound or an MRI basically of the Earth. And it can see to great depths, by the way. It can see and identify huge bodies of liquid, whether that be water, whether that be oil, whether that be whatever, even gases like natural gas, helium, propane, whatever. Most importantly, it can also identify all the elements on the periodical table. I'm talking about, zinc, copper, aluminum, boron, all the things that you can kind of remember those little acronyms for, right? It can find those things in the Earth. And if you can understand how much money is spent typically looking for those kind of things, and how many companies, how many hundreds, how many thousands of companies have gone bankrupt. If you can't find things fast enough, you're just burning through cash. And our satellite is very, very precise, very accurate, and very reliable. How much so? Well, for starters, the last 7 times we've told somebody where there'd be oil, all 7 have hit. Now, case in point, if you can positively identify that at least anywhere from 10 to 20% is the natural average of good companies, of good experienced companies when they're drilling for oil. Most companies scrounge together $3, $4, $5 million. They look for oil 1 or 2 times. If they're wrong, they burn through all the money that they've raised from investors, and that's called a dry hole. They thought there'd be oil here and there wasn't. It's just like some pirate with half a treasure map. Can't find me treasure, right? And what are you gonna do? Just sail around the ocean forever, right? Same kind of thing. If you can't hit, 10 to 20% will put you in the upper echelon of all oil drilling companies, the BPs, the Exxon, the Shells of the world. As a matter of fact, I heard that it's so expensive that they rarely even bother anymore. They let other companies do it and they'll buy their oil from them or do joint ventures. But I do have a friend on here that will maybe talk towards the end and corroborate that. He's a 3rd generation oil man. The only job between his grandfather, his father, and himself have had has been all oil, mostly oil, a little bit of network marketing. And now here he is, happier than he's ever been in his life. He's finally found a deal, right? I hate to call it a deal. Finally found a company that is predicated on oil and network marketing, his 2 favorite and his only 2 jobs that he's had in his storied past. So let's move on. Hopefully you kind of grasp what's going on. But again, it's the precision of that. Let me just give you some examples to understand that this isn't just pie in the sky type stuff. You know, so again, I told you the last 7 times we said there was oil somewhere, there absolutely was. I just told you that we are in Ghana right now. The top 22 to 25 reps in the company are currently in Ghana, and they're there with about 3 or 4 executives from IX Global, which is the company. See the IX on the screen, right? IX Global is the company we're with, and we've partnered with an existing company called DebtBox. We have the exclusive global rights to resell their products anywhere outside of their website. They sell on their websites, we handle everything else. How do we get that relationship? We invest about $15 million. We asked them we could do it. Like, we don't really want to be into network marketing or even partner with network marketers. And we're like, just give us a chance, just give us a chance. So they said, okay, you have to sell this many licenses within the next 90 days. We sold them in 22 days. Then they gave us $100 million worth, sold us $100 million worth at a bulk discount, wholesale discount. We sold them throughout our network, and we sold $100 million in 9 months. Right now, we're presently at about $160 million as of right now. And next year for 2023, as long as we sell about $300 million, then we're locked in for life. We got this great symbiotic relationship with them, and things are going to be really, really cool, really, really fast. A little quick background, just going to back up a touch here, just so you understand. IX Global started in May, I believe, or April, May of 2020. So it's a pandemic baby, right? It was born during the pandemic for all the right reasons. We'll get into that on a future call. They did $5 or $6 million their first year, right? To the end of 2020. In 2021, they did $22 million in their first full year. That's an amazing accomplishment. Now in 2022, we're 2.5 years old right now. We're at 160 million, and the last 2 months in a row, we've done 25 million. So we should add another $50 million to the coffers. Let's just call it about 185 million or so that we'll do for this year. So well on our way to exploding. And I bet before this call, it's a company you never heard of. So what we have is a 2.5-year-old company with 150,000 representatives around the world. And you've never heard of them. They're going to do $500 million next year. So you guys are absolutely in the right place at the right time. Probably one of the biggest cliches in all of business. But here I can mathematically show it to you. And I think you feel it for yourselves as you hear this information that that is indeed true. You got a $200 million company that you've never heard about, 150,000 people, you've never met any. And there's a reason for that. About 110,000 of these people, it's as random as it can be, happen to be in India, which means there's only 40,000 people anywhere else in the world. And the reason for that is the first couple leaders that came onto the business when we opened our doors, just happen to be from India. And the company doesn't go out looking for people. People find companies, right? So they just helped out the leadership team that were in India. By the way, the #1 guy there is making over $200,000 a week. If I would have said a month, you would have been impressed. I just said a week, and you guys are probably like, are you serious right now? I'm deadly serious. He's making that kind of money, and he's got people on his team making serious money too. And only in the last 90 to 120 days, it kind of really hit America. And the rest of the world, our team is pioneering big time. Mexico has some serious inroads as well, but even America is wide open. So let's continue on so we don't run out of time here. I want to show you really quickly. Let me just do this for a second. I'm going to pop out a frame. I hope I don't regret this. I don't want to end show. All right, let's end show for 1 split second. I'm going to go live. All right, so here I am live. This black site here is the debt box. We sign in through IX. This is my passive income from the past 5 or 6 weeks. So you can see I'm making roughly about $1,200 a week or so passively. This has nothing to do with me doing a Zoom right now. This has nothing to do with me telling any friends or family about the business. This is just from when I said I made my initial purchases to see how it would go. And then this has turned into $6,700 right now. And I get various rewards every single day. You can see right here for natural gas, I made $5,500 for grow. I just got this not even a week ago, made $18 for black gold. This is the oil project. I made $924. This is digital link gold. So actually they will send this one out, kind of cool, in actual gold whenever you decide. So I'm still not sure exactly how that works, but right now they owe me $12 worth of gold. I don't know what that even looks like. Probably some shavings for now. This is XPLR. So I've also put money into the actual satellite program. So that's really cool. It's yielding me some tremendous results. And this is aluminum. This is the reason they're in Ghana, Africa right now. And sorry, I didn't finish that statement. So why are they there, by the way? It's because we just partnered with one of the largest mines in all of Africa for one of their aluminum mines and bauxite, something called bauxite, which helps in the production of aluminum and aluminum products. And that right now is doing about 1.5 million metric tons a year. As a matter of fact, that site is responsible for the equivalent of nearly 30% of all pop cans in the world. So I'm not talking about we just got our little beep, 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 beep thing that you see some crazy guys with on the beach there, finding little trinkets. We're a major player in this game. When I say we, I mean the mine already was. What we do with our satellite, just to let you understand at a higher level, is we find existing projects typically, because when there's something, there's going to be more of that thing, right? And they had the bauxite going on and the aluminum going on, and we search and we noticed nearby there was even bigger yield. So we went to them, and all we do is royalty deals, by the way. We show up with some papers and we say, if we can help you find and make more money, will you give us anywhere from 3.5% to 20%? And they say, young man, we already make tons of money. We're one of the biggest deals in this space. We're like, we get that, but if we can get you some more, will you sign this? They're like, sure, what do you want to tell us? And through our satellite, our very precise satellite, we say, you guys are doing good here with your 1.5 million metric tons, but why don't you go take some soil samples about 100 yards over there to the left? Now, I'm sure the vernacular is a little bit more precise than that, right? But when they went over and checked, to their astonishment, from the samples that they were able to pull out of the earth, and it wasn't just like a couple shovels full, I mean, they did some heavy excavating, they said, we're going to get 3.5 million metric tons more on top of our 1.5 million metric tons, based on what we didn't know was sitting right over there for the past decade. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We can't wait to pay your royalties. Awesome deal. So we just did that. So we're going there to check that out. We're going to get 25, 30 pairs of eyeballs on it, take pictures and so on. Further than that, here's where it gets really interesting. I don't know if it's the actual president, but high-ranking government officials will soon be signing into law for the country of Ghana, and some neighboring countries as well also want in on this. They are no longer going to let anybody else ever drill in their country for natural resource, for any reason really, other than maybe putting up telephone poles and whatnot, right? Not for resources, unless they work with us. We get brought into every deal. And if we don't want to do it with them, and if we can't justify what they're doing there, Shell, BP, Exxon, whoever no longer can. Now, how do we get such a monopolizing deal like that? Again, I don't know if you've ever seen what some of these companies do, and we all appreciate the resources. And, you know, some people are tree huggers and some people don't care, but most of us are in the middle. I'm in the middle, right? Until you watch a video where you see that tractors with wheels and tires the size of your house are mowing down like 80,000 acres a minute in some of these places like the Amazon and whatever. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is not sustainable. Well, the same thing happens. They're drilling all these dry holes, hoping to find oil, and they're destroying, you know, the land and the earth in the meantime. And even when they find it, the condition they leave it in is horrible. And they do the same thing to mines. I'm glad that I've noticed something when I'm flying over certain mountainous regions. I noticed that the thing is there's one mountain or two mountains that are really, really flat. There's just these tractors and trucks just doing circles and donuts basically on them. And that's called strip mining. They're just cutting down the mountain and looking for stuff. The difference is if you make a deal with us, we'll say, you got this mountain. We'll say, you know what? 80% of what you're looking for is in this 10% of the mountain. The rest, the rest of this whole 90% of the mountain would make you another $50, but there's $1 million just right here. And that's why we become a very necessary part of what's going to be going on in so many countries. And I think as this gets implemented in other countries, see how it's been working, I think that's going to expand over a little bit more. Let me tell you why this is important. What we're selling here, in case it's not understandable just yet, are licenses to each of these individual projects. We have a license to the oil project, a license to the aluminum project, a license to the digital gold project, and so on. Each of these projects is as if they went public, right? So let's use the oil one because that's the easiest one for any of us to understand. Imagine we had 100 oil licenses. And there's some other nuances to how the money gets distributed, but at the very core, this is true. Imagine you had an oil project, which we do. We have 7 of them currently right now, I believe, 7 different sites. And by the way, they're all included. Oil is oil is oil. So if we have 1,000 more that we discover, the people that have licenses right now get paid on the 1,000, not just the few that we have. And let's just say that oil well, we had 100 licenses and today it made $100. It's not that cut and dry, so bear with me, right? I'm painting a picture for you guys. But if that oil well made $100 today, and there was 100 licenses, and you bought 2 licenses, and the licenses typically started about $1,000, and within our ecosystem, IX, they go from it started around 1,000, and the highest we've ever sold them for is 6,000. As they hit certain milestones, we increase them anywhere from $250 more to $1,000 more, and the highest one we ever sold is $6,000. Here's what's really interesting. You'll see in a few minutes. BLOX sells them for up to $70,000, and they get thousands of customers. Thousands of customers that are spending $12, $20, $40, $50, $70,000 to get these same licenses that you have an opportunity to buy if you join us for as little as $1,500, $2,000, $2,500, or $6,000. And the reason they do that, back to my example here, 100 licenses for the oil project, you buy 2, you own 2%. They make $100, theoretically, you make $2. I say theoretically because there's a few other expenses to pay and other things that we do with that money in terms of it, but we pay you out in tokens called BGLD, black gold tokens, and those are the ones I showed you earlier. You trade them in instantly for BLOX. It's not some laborious thing. It's not closed on weekends. It's not closed on holidays. You don't have to beg the company to do it for you. Anytime you want, you press a button, turn it into BLOX token, you press another button, and you flip it into USDT, which are the US dollars. So right here, let me just show you this. I'm live here in my aluminum back office. You can see that yesterday with my 3 licenses, I made $18. You might think that's not a big deal. I make this for the rest of my life. I don't really make $18, word of caution. What I make is 839 aluminum tokens, which so happen to be worth $18.62. Well, you know, combined. You can see up here, here's how many I've had. I just started buying these licenses a couple weeks ago. As I told you, I've only been here, you know, a little over a month, but I have 21,000 license tokens. And those right now, their current value is $472. This is XPLR. You can see they're all live. That's what's really cool, right? So we're going to get out of here because I want to get back to the presentation and show you some other things. But I just wanted you guys to understand how that works. Let me see if I can fire this back up really quickly. I wanted to give you that context from the current slide. All right. So what we have here, remember I said I had 3 licenses? In this picture, I was wise enough to take a photo my first day of aluminum when I had 1, and I made $3 for the day. And you can see right here, it was 0.01007 cents, right? And I took another picture the next day, or not the next day, but about 3 weeks later. So again, remember this, I made $3 with 1, and it was 1 penny each. Fingers a little tricky. So now I have 2. So unfortunately, it's not apples to apples, but we can all divide by 2 right here, okay? So I made $6.03 on this day. The reason why I've doubled my money is look what's happened here. The price of the tokens that they've given me, and this is on an off day, by the way, it's down 2.6% this day that I took this picture. But 3 weeks later, the price of the tokens have doubled. That's why I tell people are like, oh, this is cool, man. I'm going to buy some aluminum licenses and I'm going to make $6 a day. Like, well, you're not going to make $6 a day. If you sell it that day, you've made $6. But imagine if I sold mine back when it was $3. Just by waiting 3 more weeks, all my money has doubled. I don't know what's the future hold. That's why I gave a big, long disclaimer, right? I don't know what the future holds, but I bet 3 weeks from now, I'm going to be making more than this, right? That's just what I'm thinking. Here's a picture of the chart of XPLR. I just took this right before this. You can even see it says November 13th right there, right? This started at half a cent. Half of a cent. You can see that over here on the left. Half a cent, and that was on September 21st. And you look up, it's gone to as high as 2.5 cents. So even gone up since I took my screenshot. It's gone up 5 times, folks. Don't get lost in half a penny, 2.5 pennies. I'm on a Zoom and I'm missing the football games. I skipped church to learn about making 2.5 cents. It's not about the price. It's about the ratio. That's 500% growth. Damn a disclaimer, you got eyeballs. Right after I say church. Sorry. You can see the passion still there. And what time frame is that? September 21 to October 21 to November. That's 6 weeks. 6 weeks has gone up 5 times. $1,000 would be $5,000 right now. Could go down, could go up more, but you judge for yourself what's happening. Okay, I'm not going to beat that up. I want to stay on track. Here's a look at my Explorer on my first day. I made $3.22 with 1 license. Why did I make that? Well, I didn't make $3, 369 tokens, right? And that's the same thing we just looked at right on the live chart. And that chart was third party, by the way. That wasn't from this company. I went on the internet and I can give you guys the link if anybody wants it in the chat. As a matter of fact, Sean, Kim, if you're on, if you want to throw the Dex Tools link there so people don't think I'm crazy or made anything up. You can see right here, 0.00874. That was the price, and I was making 3, and you saw now that it's up to 2 cents. That's why it's gone so crazy. And here it is now with this is when it was 0.18 cents. So this is I took a week ago. I didn't know it was going to go to whatever it's at now. I think 25 cents, 2.5 cents, right? This is way up since then. But with 1, even then I was making $6.35 a day when it was making 3. So now it would be much, much higher. And these just continue to grow. Of course, they go up and down, but my quick story, my quick version is it goes up 2, down 1, up 3, down 2, up 4, down 3, which is still trending way up. You saw it with your own eyes. We have nothing to hide. We're going to put the third-party link in the chat, and we're having a grand old time. So let's look at BGLD really quick. Black Gold. This is the DebtBox project. It's supported by and linked to the physical production and sale of crude oil. By purchasing a node, you'll be rewarded with BGLD tokens daily. BGL tokens are, this is just a technical term, BEP20 token that can be traded for other cryptocurrencies and has great liquidity. Liquidity is that $3.5 million a day. That goes up, that goes down. In the future, it's going to go way up. So you're never stuck with it, basically, is what we're saying. You want to get out at that exact price, you can. So this is really, really cool. One thing I want to make sure you guys understand is we don't need you to buy these nodes so we can go try to find oil or try to find natural gas or try to find aluminum. We have no problems. We don't have that many bills. We're doing royalty deals. We don't need trucks. We don't need rigs. We don't need a whole lot of infrastructure. We tell people where it is, they go get it, and they give us a fee for life, contractually obligated for doing that. And we're sharing the money with you because you're expanding the ecosystem and you're expanding the project in the way we're doing it. Someone asked on one of my last calls, well, why don't you just go public? Well, hey, first of all, you pay half the money to an overwriter or an underwriter, I guess you call it. You got to hire a gazillion lawyers. There's a gazillion rules, you know, insider trading. You can't tell your kids, you can't tell your wife, you can't talk about this, you can't talk about that, you can't tweet about it, you can't have whatever, you can't do anything, right? Half the money just goes to lawyers right away. It's a very laborious process, very tedious, and so on. There's a whole bunch of, and by the way, what happens when you go public? Some big person can buy a huge share of it, which technically they could also kind of do here, but it's a lot different because more of us are involved, right? It's a lot more grassroots. But if you saw that price of XPLR, for instance, that just went up 500% in 6 weeks, what do you think a major investor that dumped $10 million into your shares would do if he had $10 million turned to $50 million in a month? Flood the market with your stuff so he can get and rip $50 million out of your company, right? So there's some method to the madness and genius, dare I say, to what these guys are doing. The fact that we get to participate is definitely a blessing. This is just a quick snapshot. I'm not going to read it all because I want to stay on time, which we're moving here. But you can see right here, Nebraska. That's what we're going to talk about in a second. This is on the next page, a very famous site for us. We just found 50+ million barrels of oil. These are 4 of our sites right now, just showing well 1, well 2, well 3, well 4. And this is just showing some of the yields that we have, right? For this one, BGLD, we're getting 20%. In Nevada, we helped them find 400 million barrels in reserve. And we got a great deal for that. That was an existing oil well. And we said, and they were just drying up. Whatever they had before, I think they had like 100 million barrels. They've been pumping it for like 10 years, 15 years, however many years. And it was just come to the bottom of the barrel, literally, right? And we said, hello, hello, hello. You want to do a royalty deal if we show where there's more oil? Blah, 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 blah. They're like, dude, we got no more oil. We're just about done. Again, 100 yards over there. Why don't you check it out? In Nevada, we helped them discover 400 million more barrels of oil. They were packing up to leave. Again, that's our satellite technology. That's how precise and how necessary and how lucrative the deals are that we're putting together. I'm going to very quickly transition. You can see there's some other ones here that they're talking about, but Nebraska is right here. Some of you have seen this picture, right? This picture used 90 days before this picture was taken. You see this background shot of all this grass? These people owned like 100,000 acres or something ridiculous. They were driving, these are those big Suburbans and Escalade SUVs. They said they were driving for over an hour and a half on their property of just fields and fields and fields. And you know, out there, they're stepping on the gas, right? And then they said, look, you have some oil here. He's like, we've had this family we've had this land in our family for 80 years. And every single year, someone comes and says we have oil. They pay us a little fee so they could drill. They've never found anything. They've wasted their money. They've wasted our time. And you're about to do the same. We're like, let us be the judge of that. They said, fine, pay us like a looking fee, basically. And they drilled and holy geez. Sure enough, you saw on the last page, right? This is Nevada. Holy geez. And the guy telling us we don't have nothing there. 400 million barrels, folks. There's a picture of Joe Martinez, our CEO. This is some of our guys and girls that went there and checked it out. They had to shut down everything they were doing for safety reasons. Look at the size of these wrenches and whatnot. By the way, this one here, this is the Nevada one I told you about, that they were about to pack up shop and go home till we helped them find 400 million more barrels of oil. So if you guys want to tell me or tell the person that invited you, this sounds like the guy that told me about Dogecoin. This sounds like the guy that told me about to buy this thing and this ICO. I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't sound like that. I might not sound, I don't know how I sound to you guys. Right now I got really stuffy, got a little bit of a cold here, but this doesn't sound like anything else you heard. Most cryptocurrencies are based on hope, technology, concepts, coming soon. If we build a community of 1 million people, then we can tell this other company we have 1 million people, and maybe they'll give us something and partner with us and kind of sort of possibly maybe we could. No, this is based on oil. And on that site right there, we also have 1,800 acres of natural gas for sale. And by the way, I've just learned that natural gas is a regenerative process. So as you're extracting more and more oil out of the ground, you're also getting more and more natural gas as well. So you saw we had a project called NATG as well there too. So it just goes on and on and on. Very exciting, very dynamic. Here is what our app looks like. Here's me hard at work, mining away. You don't do anything, folks. You don't log in and have to click buttons. You just go here to check on how your things are doing and how many licenses you have, and then you click on it to see how much you made. They're available in the App Store, and just a lot of fun. These are the various projects. I'm not going to read through them. This is oil. This is natural gas, grow. We talked about all of these things a little bit already. Many, many more coming. We have more coming than what we already have. Here's some of the prices. Unfortunately, black gold is sold out. This was one of the best questions I asked. Well, it wasn't the question that was so great. It was the answer. By the way, I hated the answer, but I equally loved it. I said, man, you guys sold out of black gold before I ever got here, but you guys are finding more and more oil. Could you ever do a black gold 2.0 so that other people could get involved and take advantage and be part of the projects? And they said, no. And I was like, well, why not? He goes, people invested in our oil projects. We can't let more people in. All our things are finite, right? It goes through a smart contract. A smart contract is a robot that does all the execution and all the distribution of monies, tokens, anything. You give it a set of rules. Once you press go, you are unable to edit those rules or change your mind, and a robot's never going to change its mind. If you're a day late and $1 short, or Kevin Latmore shows up one day after you sold out, too bad. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much you want to spend. You can't have any licenses, buddy. I don't care if we have 7 wells now, and in a year from now, we're going to have 77, none for you. All that made me do is get more aggressive on each of these other projects. And one cool thing happened that I want to mention, because this is the best thing that the company's ever done. If I only had 2 minutes to talk, and some of you are like, I wish you only had 2 minutes, right? I'm laughing the hardest at all my own jokes. I would say this. So let's say for black gold, I think they had 100,000 licenses, right? 100,000 licenses, 100,000 shares. What they did is they sold either 50,000 or 60,000 of those, but they kept the last remaining tranche, let's say 40,000, and they rent them out. It's like some high-end hotels. You may not know this. I was just in Dubai. Well, I've been to Dubai many times, but the hotel that I like to stay at is called the Address Skyview. And it's about 60 floors tall. The top from 50 to 60, those are condos. People live there. From floor 1 to 49, those are hotel rooms, right? And people go and come and go, go and come and go. Same thing these guys are doing. So you can rent these in 30 or 60-day increments. As a matter of fact, I'll simplify that for you. Black gold is rented in 30-day increments. The rest are in 60-day increments. What does that mean, rent? It means you pay $250 instead of the prices you see on the screen, $6,000 for black gold, $6,000 for natural gas, $2,500 for grow, $1,500, $1,750, and $1,500. Instead of that, but with those prices, you own it for life. They say 10 years, but trust me, they just don't know how long you're going to live or how long the company's going to be here. And if they said for life and you live to 200 and the company went out of business in 199 years, you lied, right? So, but anyways, at least 10 years, but much, much longer. So you can rent them in 30 or 60-day increments, depending on the project. Here's what's cool about that. You get the exact same amount of tokens as somebody who owned it. The only difference is you got to fight and grab some of the supply. You got to hope some are available, whereas everybody else just sets it and forgets it out of sight, out of mind, and they're still getting their tokens all the time. So either one is good. I think a combination, by the way, is the best strategy. This is an outdated slide. You can see right here it says 20 days for black gold, which is what I had. They upped it to be a little bit more fair for people to help you make a little bit more money. They upped this to 30 days. And as you can see, here's a random example of two others. And they're 60 days. Cost $250 for all of our rentals. You make a little $10 bonus for whoever introduced you to the business. Not much, but still, $10, they'll take it. 90 PV goes through the chain, right, of the compensation plan. By the way, one thing I really love about this is I'd say 75% of the people are just passive. They only signed up so that they can make money, kind of like when I started. But then I started making money so easily, I told some friends that like easy money, and they told some friends that like easy money, and all of a sudden we have a whole bunch of people here. But again, you can just sign up passive. Most people do. They just buy anywhere from 500, 1,000, 10,000, 20,000, whatever number makes sense to them. They get their daily yield and they're very happy. They don't have to do anything else. They never have to get on another Zoom. They don't have to pay anything monthly if they don't want to, and they're off to the races. So that's that. Let's move on some more. This is a snapshot that I did, a little arts and crafts. This is a picture of natural gas, NATG, on our website, $6,000, $250 fast start to my sponsor, 1,500 PV goes through the tree. As you may recall from earlier, black and white is the colors of BLOX, our partner. This is their website, natural gas. Click here, $70,000 each. Quantity, how many do you want, right? So just showing a comparison, just bringing it into reality for you guys, that they sell hundreds of millions of dollars of it right here. And really quick, why do they do that? Or why would people buy it for 70,000? First of all, they don't know that we sell it for 6, right? That's in-house. That's like our discount card or whatever you want to call it. The people buying from them are mostly like hedge funds, big investment firms, high net worth individuals looking to diversify, right? And I asked the owner of BLOX, so what's the sentiment? Do people really like not mind paying $70,000 each? He's like, nah, they pick up 10 at a time. Some of them pick up 100 at a time. I was like, oh, wow, cool. Why do they do that? He says a lot of these guys, they buy lots of condos all over the world and big, whole floors of condos and stuff at their investment level. And he goes, if you think about it, they buy a $500,000 condo. They're going to rent it for, the mortgage is $2,000 a month. They rent it for $2,400. And at the end of the year, they made $4,800, unless the hot water heater goes, unless the people, break their lease and you have to paint and steam the carpets and put up, ads everywhere and stuff, chewing in to your $4,800. They just rather buy some of these nodes and let it rip and get those daily tokens coming to them. You saw that I just with a couple of them, most of those were rentals to get started, had made like a quick $7 grand before I even knew what was happening. What's going to happen when you start buying the amount that these kind of people can buy? I took a snapshot here. Sorry that it's grainy and I couldn't make it all prettier. My levels of arts and crafts is probably a little bit better than average, but not that great. Here's someone that bought a lot of licenses on the team. And a cycle is a 24-hour period. So that means yesterday. Current cycle today, last cycle yesterday. I don't know if you guys can see this number. Someone put it in the chat just to make it nice and staggering. That says $8,753 for the day. That's why these guys like to buy a bunch of these. The money, imagine making this for life. And they didn't really make 8,700. I want to reiterate this fact. I like saying that, but what they really made was 23 million tokens, right? And if those tokens, let's say, went to $1, which, hey, it's a stretch right now. You can see right now it's 0.000037. But if this went even to a penny, like the other ones did, these 23 million tokens for the day are crazy. Someone figure out what, let's not even do the dollar. Someone figure out what 23 million times 1 penny is and put that in the chat. And everyone else can ooh and on. I'm going to even read it later out loud, probably. I think I know the number, actually. Would that be $2.3 million a day if this just goes to a penny? Anyways, let's move on. Let's keep it up. Here's a list of the quantity of rentals that we have. Just happened to grab this 1,500 black gold, 50,000 natural gas, 20,000 grow, XPLR and aluminum, 25,000. And those just came out. It says this week, they just came out this week, actually. So lots of inventory available, much more coming. Here's a couple snapshots as I wrap up. We just did a deal with MasterCard. So that's going to be one of our projects. It's called Swipe. And I don't know too much about it, but they're going to tokenize that, right? We're going to make money off of all of the swipes based on how many licenses you have or rentals you have. This was a really good day. My friend just took look at all the tokens are way up for the day. Some of them in the double digits. This was our team one day, like last week. I thought this was kind of cool snapshot. We had someone join from Hungary, United States, Austria, Netherlands, Hungary, Ireland, Hungary again. My boy Franz over there doing big things. He just got a great promotion. Good job, my buddy. He's awesome. Someone just needs to be muted there. That's cool. UK, Ireland, Hungary, United States of America. Only 2 on here. We got help. We need some help in the USA. Austria. We got more, the same amount of people joining from Austria per day as we have from the United States of America. Italy, my boy Claudio, Armando, Nicola, of course, Thailand, where my wife is from. Austria actually has 3, so I lied. Austria has more than the United States. South Africa. So one last little quick thing here about the company. They were predominantly
Kev, you got muted by accident.
No worries. Am I back?
Yes, sir.
Thank you for that. Did people take a vote and say, mute that guy? He talks too much. All right, really quick. We're wrapping up. We're rounding home. Here's a quick snapshot because we also have a whole other side of the business. Now, the nodes have taken all the limelight, all the electricity, and all the excitement. But I want you guys to know that as part of your benefit for participating and working with us, if you so choose, we have some great things going on. We give Forex signals. We also have what's called a copy trader. You put however much money you want. I think the minimum is $500 and it might be 100, but let's just say $500 into an account of your choice. We send you a link. You link it to our traders, and whatever our trader does and whatever benefits he gets or losses he or she gets, you also get. You'll be happy to know that it's been averaging 7.5% victories or gains per month, compounding monthly nonetheless, for the last 2+ years. So that's really good. You don't have to understand it. Someone can walk you through. Again, this is part of your membership here is the education. If you don't know what pips are, this is a very big number. For most people, this would be $1,981 a week if you participate, right, at a very low investment level. That's what that means. 79% win rate, 76% win rate on things like the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ, and a lot of the 100% win rate for whatever they're doing over there in India. So really cool, above some people's pay grade right now. Just, here you go. You can buy your node. People can help you with this. It's really simple. Be part of our ecosystem. There's not a huge learning curve. And last but not least, well, first of all, let me just take a couple quick testimonials we'll start with Marshanda, maybe John if you want, and maybe one other person. Just talk in the chat and I'll find you. Just a couple testimonials on how the nodes have done for you so far. So people don't think, oh yeah, it's nice that Kevin made $7,000. He's the guy that's talking and he's this and he's that. I mean, I want to show that it's everybody on the team is making something. We all make the exact same. It's the difference of how many did you buy and or how many did you rent. So Marshanda, if you could quickly share a testimonial on that, and maybe even just 10 seconds on the business while you're at it, because we'll knock both out. And then I'll just show the comp plan. I just got a 1-pager, folks, and we are out of here.
Yes, thank you so much for asking me to share. It has been absolutely amazing. I'm going to bring up my screen here so you guys can see. I always say a picture is worth 1,000 words. So I'm going to bring up my screen and I'm going to share with you guys what's absolutely happening. It's so amazing. Share. Where are you? So like you said, you can get into this thing and just do passive. And if you do passive, you're going to get rewarded daily. And I'm just going to share one of this, of my projects. You can choose any of the projects that he already talked about, but this is becoming one of my favorite ones, which is the Explorer project. And, you know, a few days ago, I only had one of these, or the day before yesterday, I only had one of these, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And I saw that it was going up, like he shared with you in there. And I said, oh, okay, well, it's not really about how much this is right now. That's only relevant when you go to cash out. It's how many of these are you getting every single day, which is the tokens as they go, you know, as they go. And so I started to see, this is so awesome, because this technology is so, you know, in my opinion, again, this is just my opinion, this technology is so amazing that this, you know, more and more people, as they hear about what it is that we're doing, they're going to want this technology. And for us to go up and put our own satellite up there with, you know, we have a deal with SpaceX to do that. This project is going to explode, and it's already starting to. I guess the word is getting out, because this is, you see the prices going up and up and up. And then I'll just share one other project that I really like, which is natural gas, because you do accumulate a lot of tokens per day. You can see already today, remember, it's a current cycle is today, already 51,000 tokens and counting. And I don't even have that many. I only have 4 of these, right? So it's just about how many tokens you can accumulate in a 24-hour period. And then again, holding on to them until you're ready and nobody else. And I love the fact that this is my own wallet. Nobody else has the keys. There's no company that can, you know, walk away with it. It's already in your wallet. So that's what's awesome to me. So a great passive. And then couple that with what he's going to share for those that do want to go out and share this. You will be handsomely rewarded. But just even on this side, it just makes sense. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it back over to you. Thank you for allowing me to share.
Awesome. Awesome. Good job as always. Nice to see that your stuff is just climbing. Is there anybody else? I didn't get a chance to get a hold of people beforehand. One other testimonial on how the nodes are working for you. Feel free to just jump on or raise your hand. We'll unmute you if necessary. I think John might have got bumped off. I know he was trying to. Oh yeah, go ahead, John, for sure. I don't know if you need us to unmute you. Let me find you. There he is. Has to unmute. John is a business partner of mine. We've worked together on some projects that have done tremendously well. Over 50,000 people on our team. John is the one that I referenced. That's third generation oil. John, if you could give a real fast little recap of your, you know, your oil background and 1 or 2 little, you know, stories on that, and then just while you're setting up for your Harry's earnings. And then I'll just jump into the top plan. Thank you, man.
You bet, guys. So actually, when I got out of college in the mid 70s, I actually started taking some money and putting in oil wells, investing directly in wells. And just to let you know, to give you a frame of reference, I've drilled wells that the total cost was about $100,000. And then probably the most expensive well I've ever participated in cost well over $3 million. So usually what ends up happening is when you do invest in oil, you take partial interest in wells. You never put all your money in one well. You diversify it and things like that. So the industry average for me was, at the time, this would be like the late 80s, early 90s. And the average back then for a wildcat was about 1 in 10 or 1 in 11. So for every 10 or 11 wildcats that you drilled over whatever period of time, you should hit one of those. How I got into network marketing, quite frankly, is that I drilled 9 wildcat dry holes, and I just didn't have enough in me to go try to do it one more time. And so I shifted to network marketing. That's how I got there. The crazy thing about, if you've seen the videos out on the drill site in Nebraska, is that land had 25 dry holes on it. So the odds were much greater against success, well beyond the industry average. But because of the special technology that they deployed through the satellites, that remote sensing, they were able to identify commercial hydrocarbons. And so that's what made that so special. And that's what the real secret sauce is, that it enables to reduce your risk and increase the likelihood of finding commercial quantities of oil or gas. Just to straighten up one thing with Kevin, not every oil well has associated gas. There's a thing called the gravity of that crude, and the low gravity crude doesn't have any gas in it. High gravity crude does. So there's not always a guarantee that you drill a well and you're going to have associated gas, but many times that is the case. The other thing that I could tell you is, guys, is that, let me just give you a really short course. So a geologist comes to me and he has an idea. From the time that he has that idea, then we start investing money in geological surveys, geophysical surveys, which the satellite technology would be considered that. And you put all that money, and then finally you make a decision to that you think you have a legitimate prospect that will give you a financial return. And so you go take a lease from the landowner or the mineral owner, and all this is working. And so from the time you come from an idea, it literally could be 6 to 12 months before you ever even have defined where you're going to drill. And then you've got to make sure to find a drilling rig. It's not easy to find a drilling rig, so you can get on a wait list, and it could take you 6, 9 months or a year to get a rig on your site to go drill. All right. So go through all that, then you got to drill the well. Even when you hit, then in this case, you've got to build a pipeline out there to remove the oil or the gas or whatever. And all that is time and time. So from the day that you made a decision to do something, it could be 1 to 2 years before you ever make a dollar. And if you're fortunate enough to hit a productive well. So for me, it's like, wait a second, tonight I can buy some nodes or buy some NATG rentals while they're still available, or go on and get a black gold rental. And tomorrow I'm generating profits. So you can see why. So now let's take that out into the public markets. I was private, the scenarios at the time. So now you're going to go buy the stock, and you don't know when that public company is going to go drill those reserves. That's going to affect the stock price. And so you've got to wait and be patient and all those sorts of things. And that's the beautiful thing right here. No, you buy the node today or rent the node today, and tomorrow you're getting rewards. So I just wanted you to kind of see from a psychological standpoint, from an investor standpoint, what makes in the case with the black gold or the NATG nodes, what makes them so attractive, even for somebody that's sophisticated in the oil and gas industry. So I just thought that hopefully that'll give you a grasp of why I've got, 20 NATG nodes right now, because, hey, I'm generating rewards tomorrow. If I took that same money and invested it in a gas well, who knows when that well would get on production and start generating cash flow. So, Kevin, relative to bringing up, I think I've got it. Let me do share screen.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that gives you guys a little more insight as the power of the 2 petroleum nodes. Okay, here we go. So is it up?
Mm-hmm.
Is my share screen now? Okay, good. So guys, so the first one I'm going to show you is, this says that I've got 12 grow licenses, and it shows you what they've generated in rewards over the last 24 hours. That, just so that you understand, that's actually 2 perpetuals and 10 rentals. Whereas in the NATG, these are just 10 rentals alone. And then that's the 3 explorers, and those are all 3 of those are licenses. But this week, Explorer rentals have just gone online, so you're able to buy Explorer rentals now. And then these are the alum, the bauxite mines that Kevin was talking about earlier. These are 3 aluminum nodes. And then finally, this is one, and look how the lack of growth of the tokens today, this is the digital gold node. And so it's not very rewarding today, but it's generated a whole bunch of tokens. So one of these days, if this takes off, then you guys will never see me ever again, because I'll have so many of those tokens. So anyway, I just wanted to show you, as you can see, when you tap on these, it's going to bring up, you're going to see how much in the current cycle, how much you've generated, your total balance. So currently, in just this short a period of time, I possess 306 of the GROW tokens. That equals $282. In the current cycle, I'm generating $65 worth of rewards. And yesterday, I generated $72 in rewards. So it gives you the amount that, what the current market value of the GROW, and you saw Kevin show that has gone up 500% since the last week of August. Again, it's just showing you what I've got, the licenses in this case, because also remember this, you cannot rent any nodes from DebtBox. The only place anywhere in the world that you could actually rent these nodes is through IX Global. So in the case with DebtBox, they don't see the difference between a rental and a full license. You generate the same amount of rewards for each one of those, the rental and the perpetual. So just don't get confused there when you go over to the DebtBox dashboard. Whether it's a rental or a perpetual, they show up the exact same. They generate the exact same 24-hour daily reward. You'll only know the difference when you go into your IX Global dashboard, where you see the difference of a perpetual versus a rental. So Kevin, is that what you wanted?
Yep, you're good.
All right. I'll stop the screen share.
All right. So you guys heard and you saw what was going on there. Super crazy. And from someone that's been on both sides of this very rare fence, where commodities like oil and drilling and all that stuff, even so much so that himself and his family have created companies that do fundraising and stuff like that, getting the funds together, to do other projects. So here we go. Last but not least, and if it was up to me, I would only talk about the comp plan. I'm a comp plan guy, but the product is so compelling that I took 99.9% of the time talking about the product. And just by chance, it so happens that we have a product that actually makes you money. So a little bit of two birds with one stone type of thing. But for those that want to know, we do have a very exciting compensation plan. And let me just do this to be a little bit more spotlight. Awesome. Cool. So the comp plan here is very simple. Number one, it's a binary compensation plan, which just means you have a left side and a right side. You don't have to build a lot of legs. I was in a company once where you needed 12 legs to make it to the top. I did it, but it was a beast. And not many people could, which is why I quit. I was making great money. I just didn't feel good telling other people that they needed to work that hard to make money. And it just wasn't happening. I've seen enough data with tens of thousands of people on my team and just a handful of people winning. It wasn't cool. But this, a binary left side, right side, and we usually help each other. Of course, you're responsible for building your own team, but sometimes if you're fortunate, someone might give you a hand if they have extra, right? So there's that. And binary are called team commissions. Very quickly, you see you can make 10 to 15 to 20% in team commissions. Very, very lucrative. Awesome. What I like about this company, what's unique about this company is they have what I call, it's not probably compliant even, but I call an MLM salary. Let's just call it a salary, right? What do I mean by salary? They're saying if you hit a certain rank, we're going to give you a weekly bonus based on whatever rank you hit. Now, ranks usually don't matter. Silver, gold, presidential, vice presidential, all these things that they call them, black diamonds, triple diamonds, right? What I like about this company, it's very simple. They have two things that matter. If you can sponsor, and you can make money with one on your left, one on your right, But to make it to the top, all you have to do is sign up 2 on your left, 2 on your right, a total of 4 people. From that point on is just volume. You like, every company's like that. No, you're not catching the nuance. Most companies, you need 3 silvers to be a gold, 4 golds to be a platinum, 5 platinums to be an emerald, 8 emeralds to be a ruby, and 8 diamonds to be a diamond or triple diamond or black diamond, right? And if one of those people doesn't do what they're supposed to do, your check drops in half. I hate that. So right here is just, what is your volume? And so how you get this rank? Well, let's just look at Builder. Builder is someone that has 1,040 points on their entire team, right? Even if it's all on the same leg, doesn't matter. 1,040 points. There is some balancing. So enrollment legs versus placement legs, but I don't have time to get particular right now. Clients needed. This is not a true representation. This is for illustrations purposes only. You could have 3 people each do, let's say, I don't know, 300 and something, and you could be a builder. The importance of being a builder, $87.50 a week, like $88 a week for being a builder. Really, really cool. Let's look at producer, 3,600 points for your entire team. Now, some of you guys can't do the hundreds of thousands or the millions, but I'm sure if you have any kind of history in networking, you've done somewhere between 1,000 and 3,600 for your entire team to infinity. By the way, we don't do levels here, so it all counts. That's what's super cool about it, right? We don't do levels. If your entire team did 3,600, it can't just be one guy that bought it all for 3,600, of course. The company would go bankrupt. You know, I think I'm at around 300 and something thousand. If I put all my 5 kids in, then my wife, and then I came in and did 300 something thousand under all of them, they can't all get these bonuses. It would be beneficial, but that's what these leg max means. They have to do a little bit of their own outside of what I just did. So here we go. This one gets interesting for some of the bigger leaders on here. Not that 10,000 is even a big number, right? You guys will judge what you think is big or not really fast. And that's 10,800. That's going to give you a $500 a week bonus. $2,000 a month, $24,000+ a year for 10,000 points. Could some people, I know I've asked you guys to do 100 different things, but could some of you either put, you know, how much you spent on nodes or how much the biggest person in your team has spent? We're a relatively young team. We're just starting out, right? And there's dollars and there's points and various things. But just to give you guys an idea that these numbers aren't that big. You know, I know for a fact that I spent easily $10,000. We had a gentleman on the team the other day spend $75,000. I met a gentleman who bought $400,000 worth of nodes on another team. I wish he was on ours. He bought 400. He didn't buy them all at once. Every couple of weeks, he's been buying more. Very proud, very happy with his yields, very happy with the daily amount of tokens he's been getting. But so there's some big numbers. These numbers are relatively easy to hit. Simple, let's say. Easy is a whole other word. And just wrapping up the last 2 positions I'll talk about. Influencer, by the way, you make 15% of the binary, but you can make 25,000 in points for your entire team, and you make $1,000 a week, $52,000 a year, $4,000 a month, however you want to dice it up. This is great money. This is a decent number, but it's not that big. You know, maybe in a product deal where you're selling vitamins for $100 each, that would take you quite a few people. That would take you actually 250 people probably, right? But here, you know, you could do this with 10, 20, 30 people pretty easily. And then last but not least, global influencer above, you make $2,000 a week, which is $8,000 a month, just on this bonus, by the way. You also make other monies, but this bonus, that's why I call it a salary, because this is like clockwork. Right? For 100,000. Now that's a big number. It's a decent number. Again, you'd be very surprised about how many nodes and rentals and stuff people buy. A lot of people like to also get the Forex packages and whatnot. So I like this, big players like this, but I really think pound for pound influencer is one of the best positions I've ever seen in network marketing. Why is it better than this one? Because this one takes 100,000 for 2,000. This is 25% of the requirement, but 50% of the payout. So for 25,000, you make 1,000 a week, 4,000 a month. That puts you in the upper echelon, believe it or not, of the average US household. And globally, it probably puts you in the top 10% of people who have jobs and work full time, and so on. So I think I just want you to get a glimpse of how cool this is. I don't want you to expect you to understand it all right now. I'll tell you this, the computer understands it and can and will pay you weekly, which is awesome. If you're on our team, I guess you're on this Zoom, you'll be on my team. I will have certain sessions where I explain this in better detail. And believe it or not, there's some people on my team that get up on a whiteboard that explain this really, really well and get people excited and understanding the possibilities. So with that being said, I'll just call it a wrap right there. And I want to thank you guys for being on this call. I hope I did it justice to the compensation plan, even in just a 5-minute thing. I'm glad that you guys stayed here for just a touch over an hour. Hopefully the time was well worth it for you. It's been growing out of control. Myself, I'm signing up about 80% of the people I talk to. Even people on the team that aren't very good at signing people up are getting at least 50% signups, which is rare, right? Imagine half the people you talk to say yes, and the other half either says no, and there's still some maybes in there. As you guys get on more and more of these Zooms, learn some of the language, see some of the results, see some of the testimonials, participate in the groups. We have a Telegram, we have a Facebook group. We're making free marketing materials for the whole team to use. That's going to blow you up on social media. If you don't understand it, you can just press a button. You have links that you can send to people that will have videos. We're going to do probably about, I'm going to shoot and record probably 10 more presentations. I'm going to try to even do a fast one in about 15 minutes or so. And then you can just send out these teasers, and people can come back and get more and more information as they get more and more interested. So we're going to build a global business, folks. My biggest team ever has only been 65,000 people. I say only, it's because of the circle that I'm in. Some friends, are 650,000. But I believe this is going to be my biggest build. I'm finally going to crack that 100,000 person in one company mark. And I'm super excited that it's here. I'm super excited it's in a binary where I can put people with other people. And I'm super excited that it's with you guys. There's a really great team here. Most of you guys are new. I have the incredible ability to find new teams, whereas most people, they just beg and drag all the same old people to wherever. I hardly even do any outbound calls. People are calling me. The fish are jumping in the boat. If you just let people know what it is you're doing, you're going to get some tremendous feedback, and more importantly, some tremendous results. So once again, this call is officially over. Thank you so much for listening. Please get back in touch with the person that thought enough of you to put you on this call so early in the game. I often say that timing can make up for talent. If you're talented, you're usually going to make money anyways, but you're going to be making more when you have timing and talent. And if you don't feel like you're good at sales or marketing or network marketing or crypto or any of these things, that's okay, because your timing is impeccable. Outside of India, there is only 40,000 people in this company. That is a drop in the bucket for a global business. My last business had over 3.5 million people in it. All right. This one has 40,000 outside of India right now. And this has way wider appeal than that other one. Was actually a product deal. And it was actually upper echelon, very expensive. Well, they weren't expensive. They had good value, but it was at a price point that most people couldn't reach. So again, see you guys on the next call. We do have some calls on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from a very talented friend of mine. Whole different spin. He's a little quicker. He's got a great Irish accent that you're going to enjoy, and completely different style. And, just get in where you fit in. Get in where you fit in. I don't care if you just do a little bit or just do a lot. It really makes no difference. You're part of the team. You're part of the team. And I'll see each and every one of you guys at the top. This call is officially over. Thank you so much for your time. Marshanda, anything that you want to add at the end? I know you always have some great insight and stuff like that.
I think this was awesome call. Thank you so very much. I just say good back to the person that invited you, because he's absolutely right. They are jumping in, and hey, you might as well start getting paid daily rewards every day. Awesome. Sweet call, Kev.
Great. Okay, we're done. Big shout to Coach Veer. Big shout to Joni and Chris Budd, who are doing big things. Big shout to everybody. I'd go through the whole list. Leon, Ray, obviously Marshanda, and everything that she's doing. Phyllis, thank you for the value that you bring to the team. Thomas Evangelista is one of our secret weapons working behind the scenes. Let me look at some of the names of who else is on here. Sean, you know what you do. Everybody, Hair on Fire, Miss Sandy and Ed Cohen, thank you so much for bringing your leadership as well. And that's pretty much it. We're going to stop right there. Oh, wow. Big Freddie is in the house. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Cool, cool, cool. Hit me up anytime, brother. Good to see you on board. And Rufus is here too. Yay. This is a sweet. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I'm going to end this recording. I'll have it out within the next hour or so. If you guys want to share this. And great numbers. Great job inviting everybody. This is truly just the beginning. This is going to be so big. I hope I did this opportunity justice. It's about to be a life changer.